All right. Hopefully everything is good at this point. And as you're coming in, please do say hello. We're gonna chat it up just for a little bit. Literally talking about the Google Pixel 10. So you're coming in, please do say hello. Yeah, I'm playing around with filters right now, and it's so weird because um, Prism has like these really weird uh like dots. I don't know if you guys see them. I can pretty much see them. And so yeah, it's one of those weird things. Hey, how's it going as you're coming in? Say hello. Say what's up. Thank you for joining in. I want to play around more with these filters. Hold on. Let me see what I can come up with. I'm just having fun, just live streaming and having fun. So let's see what's up. Oh, this is pretty cool. It is pretty cool. I like this. Let me know if you guys can hear me. I'm actually using the Pixel Buds A paired with the Pixel 8A to live stream this. So, Titus, hey, what's up, man? Glad to have you here. Yeah, streaming a little bit differently, doing it from my mobile device. And you know what? I just wanted to chat it up with everybody, just kind of talking about the Google Pixel 10 launch tomorrow. TJ, what's up, man? What's up with you, bro? Um, like I said, just like a little pregame type thing. I just wanted to talk about Pixel 10, kind of hear everybody else's opinions about, the upcoming event tomorrow. Sounds good. Awesome. Glad to know. I'm probably going to start doing this a lot more, streaming mobilely from Prism, because you can multi-stream to different platforms or you can just stream to YouTube directly. But the cool thing I like about it is that you can use the earbuds as a microphone, right? So it's got Bluetooth mic and everything. So that's pretty cool. I like that. I think I'm gonna like further go on with that. But what's up with you guys? How are you guys doing today? I'm gonna leave this here for now, just for the hell of it. Kind of remind people to smash the like button, right? I like this filter here. It's just like, hey, hit the like button, because it freaking helps. It really helps out. Um, yeah, so I got the rumored specs of the Pixel 10 kind of pulled up. But I wanted to know what you guys think. Nia Dang, salute to you. Welcome in. Glad to have you here. Good afternoon to you. Wow, man. Thank you guys. I love you guys for coming in here. And let's just hang out for a little bit. Let's just chill. Let's talk Pixel 10. Questions you guys may have that, I hope to be able to answer. What do you guys think is going to happen? Do you guys think the Pixel 10 is going to be eSIM only? All these things we'll talk about in the chat today. Um, Tell me also, how's your guys' day going so far? How you guys doing? Hopefully you guys are doing pretty good. Google has a big event coming. Yep, tomorrow. Tomorrow I will be live streaming and live reacting to the event. So this is like New Year's for me. Every year when Google has this event, I live stream reacted and shout out to Google because they don't get mad at people live reacting to their events, right? The one and only time I ever did it for not Google, for Apple, and Apple had me they had hit my channel and I got in trouble. Do you see any difference between an actual eSIM versus do you mean an actual eSIM versus physical SIM? No, I don't actually really see any type of issue. And I could actually run a test in a future video. Right now on my Pixel 9a, I have eSIM on this, and I can actually I forgot which one I have it in. One of my other phones here on my desk has the Google Fi physical SIM card, and I could take it out and pop it into here and convert it from eSIM to physical SIM. But I haven't noticed like a difference. I haven't noticed like any major differences. If there's like a huge difference in speed and all that stuff, I haven't had that at all whatsoever. I don't know if anyone else has, but I haven't. I mean, it is the plan here in the US to completely go full eSIM. No, I don't want to change the focus of the camera. I want to let me move the the widget down. Oh, you can't scroll back up on the comments? Well, that's weird. I've been using iPhone for like 2 years already. Yeah, so the idea of going full eSIM is to have less waste, right? As you think about it, it's funny because my tripod is on one of the SIMs, so I have to move it real quick. But they're trying to cut back on these little things going into the landfill and stuff like that. So that is the absolute whole point of why they want to go full eSIM. Other countries still rely on physical SIM. So yeah, I know somebody's gonna probably make mention in the future, like, bro, you're vaping or whatever, whatnot. Sometimes I feel like that people gotta mind their own business when it comes to stuff like that. Like you do you what you want to do for health, I'll do me. One thing I definitely don't want to do is go back to cigarettes for sure. And that was bad. Some of you guys who have rocked with me for so many years know I used to smoke cigarettes because I smoked on a live stream once before. So yeah, this is a big step up. I just gotta point that out because I know somebody's gonna say something down the road. Um, but yeah, I know. A person who is I consider a friend that follows me on social media. I know he's definitely worried that it's going to go all eSIM, and that's just because Boost Mobile does not support eSIM at all whatsoever. I'm not getting notifications. I should actually um, turn on the do not disturb mode. Let's turn that on. There we go. Now notifications won't pop up and get in the way. Um, but yeah, so. All eSIM is, not really a bad thing, to be quite honest. It wouldn't be that bad. Maybe for some people. Those on Boost Mobile for sure. If you're on Boost Mobile, and the Pixel 10 is all eSIM, then you guys are SOL in getting a Pixel 10, 10 Pro, 10 Pro XL, 10 Pro Fold. Yeah, you guys are basically SOL. And it's like the craziest thing with Boost Mobile, right? Because Boost Mobile still does not offer eSIM on all Androids. Like they offer eSIM for for Samsung Galaxy and all iPhones, but they don't offer for Pixels, for Motorola. I don't believe they do. Maybe some Motorola's, but not all of them that have eSIM. And various other, Android brands. So, yeah, actually, probably should move this down here. And yeah, there we go. Maybe that's a little better. Boost don't have Pixels still. So they don't sell Pixels? No. I think Boost Mobile's their preferred partnership, if they had one, is with Apple, right? They got crazy insane deals with Apple, and they've made a partnership with Samsung, so they have a lot of Samsungs. But Boost Mobile still continues their great business relationship with Motorola, so that is something that is also part of the equation. That's why you don't see Google Pixels on there. They don't support them. If it goes all eSIM, thinking Boost will need to make it available. They've been saying it for years. Okay. When I worked for them, well, actually, when I started with them and was in training, right? Because it's like a 5 week training course before you get put on production. They were saying it. They were like, "Yeah, we're going to be supporting Android's eSIMs here really soon." Yada yada yada. It still hasn't happened. It surprises me. It still hasn't happened yet. So that's just weird. Hmm. Screen turned off. Let's see. But yeah, some of those things, if you're on the Pixel 9, I guess that's going to be the question for some people. It's like, should you upgrade type of thing? And I don't know. I mean, the the only thing I could think of for a reason for anyone to upgrade would be, the processor chip. The switch up from a Samsung Foundry built chip, which, what the last one was the Tensor G4. And you know. the TSMC Tensor G5. So that's definitely going to be, something that will kind of be a change up. How it's able to process things, obviously, we're going to see a big difference in that. Maybe better battery life, something that, is good, but we definitely want more of. Let's see. I'm gonna make this widget bigger. No. Oh, there we go. I like this better. I like that better. Okay, now I can see more of the comments. You have high expectations for the Tensor G5 with room performance and efficiency upgrades. Um, so upgrading every year doesn't make sense. I would say every 2 years because that's a marginal big. I mean, yeah. So normally in this case, normally it would be like every couple of years, right? Maybe every 3 years. To be quite honest, you can make your phone last you for like 5 years if we're being very honest about it. The expectations for the Tensor G5, I'm definitely, yes, I have high expectations for it because there are some things that the Tensor G4 kind of lacks in. And even previous Tensor processors, like processors built by the Samsung Foundry, often suffer the same fate as Exynos chips, because that's where Exynos chips are built. The Samsung Foundry, which builds processor chips, obviously, the architecture and the way that they do things, you could definitely feel and it resonates with Google Pixels because, yeah, I mean, if they build their Exynos a certain way, then the same way they build their Exynos processor or Exynos, it's actually pronounced, then they're going to build, tensors the same way. So with TSMC being the ones who's built the Tensor G5, I do expect, to have a bit more power in the things that I use, but also a bit more power efficiency when I'm using those things, right? I think that's like one of the big key things here. So just imagine, okay, with the Pixel 9a's specifications, instead of it having a Tensor G4 or even a kind of watered down Tensor G4, if it had the G5, okay, with the 5100 milliamp hour battery it already has, with that processor chip in it, oh my God, this would blow things out of the water when it comes to performance. And I'm not talking about heavy performance like, the performance king, which would be the Samsung Galaxies, right? Pixels are king of, AI and photography. Samsung, I gave it to them for the power. Apple, I gave it to them for power and as well as fluidity amongst devices. Their ecosystem is pretty nice and polished. I'm hoping one day that Google has a very similar ecosystem that's just as polished as Apple's. You know what I mean? Like, having the Pixelbook Go, right? I would really, really, really love, to just have a bit more, right? I mean, they have the Pixel tablet, they have the Pixelbook Go, they haven't made a refresh to the basically the Pixel Chromebook. So I still use it, uh, still sits on my desk, um, alongside my PC right here. And I mean, in a way that kind of integrate well together, I guess you could say. I think the one area that I know that is very fluid, and it's not even like a super huge big deal because it has to do with YouTube. Because this is the reason why they killed Stadia, which I still have my Stadia controller. But they killed that project, which I thought could have been like so much big, leaps and bounds big. And that's just because they took the essence of Stadia, right? Because one of the biggest key points of Stadia's like the whole reasoning for it was being able to game online. And one of the benefits of gaming through Stadia was easily transition from like your computer to your smartphone, right? You can continue your gaming. Like if you're playing on your PC, or if you're playing on your Chromebook, or even on a tablet, and then you got to go somewhere, you're not driving, so you just grab your phone off your desk, take off, and you should be able to launch the game in your phone and pick up exactly from where you left off. And they took that part of Stadia and they implemented it into YouTube, which is why, if you haven't noticed in the last year, when you watch a video on YouTube, say you're watching on your PC, and then you get up from your desk, you grab your phone, you open the YouTube app, and the video is there. It's there for you to click continue, and it plays exactly from where you left off. And that's one of the key things they took from Stadia. So just imagine if they had that level of, device communication, um, just the fluidity between devices and everything like that. It would be so awesome. I think it would definitely give Apple a run for their money. Tito, hoping you're doing well. I am doing well, Oscar. Glad to have you here, dude. Appreciate you for being here. I'm doing pretty good, as good as could be, to the best that I can. Yesterday I was surprised a little bit. They ended up buying me a cake yesterday, and because I didn't really want to do anything, like, there's just so much stacked on my plate right now that I got to try to handle. So I wasn't even wanting to really celebrate my birthday yesterday. I did that quick live stream, as I promised that everyone that I would, and kind of talk about what I'm, bringing to the channel to members only, and that's still going to happen. Excuse me, man, the heat gets to me. Being out in like the high heat, like 110 degrees, does this ever make you guys sleepy? This ain't feeling too bad. My daughter had me try this Prime KSI drink. It's not bad. It's not the greatest out there. It's not something that I would like, I'm not gonna toss all my money for it, but it ain't all that great. But it does taste pretty good. My wife is messaging me, everyone. Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you, Oscar. I appreciate it. Yeah, yeah. Yesterday was my birthday. I'm officially 43 years old. I'm the big 4-3 now. But yeah, my wife and them, they got me a cake. They got me this shirt too. Check it out. Classic trained Nintendo. It's a pretty dope shirt. I like it. But I really did, wasn't expecting anything. You know, if you're on break, I'm live on YouTube right now. You can come hang out. I love Google's voice to text. So good. So good and so fluid. And then of course, with voice and everything like that, it just comes out pretty good. My wife's writing out her schedule. Yeah. I'm still young. Surprisingly enough. So after, because my wife made me a really good dinner. That's really what I wanted for my birthday. I love my wife's cooking. I mean, I love my wife's cooking. I ain't fat for no reason. And so like, she wanted to know what I wanted for dinner. And I already knew like she was asking me because it was my birthday. So she was like, she wanted to know what I really like crave to eat, right? So one of the things my wife makes, I really, really love it. It's corned beef tacos, right? So, she gets the yellow tortilla, the Arizona brand one, if you guys seen that one. And what she does is, so like, those $6 cans of corned beef. Um, she takes that. So she boils some potatoes. Um, she softens the potatoes, mashes it, takes those cans of corned beef, throws it in a bowl, mixes it with the potatoes, stuffs it into the tortilla, kind of folds it over, puts a toothpick in it so that way it doesn't open up, and she deep fries them with cheddar cheese in them and everything like that, right? So it's like a cheesy potato corned beef taco. And it's just so weird, right? Because it's like a fusion dish, right? So I get that, with some fried rice, and then lightly fried bananas, right? Normally people will get plátano and then cook that like the sweet ones, but I just went with regular bananas, and so I had that for dinner last night. It was really good. I gorged out on it. I know, fuck it. I'm type 2 diabetic. I gotta watch what I eat, but the one time out of the year where I can just put all my worries aside and just go in. And I did, and I wrecked the fuck out of those plates. And then yeah, so then we went to the store. My son had a he has a cough and he had a slight fever, so I went to go get some medicine last night. And then so when we went in there, I don't know if you guys know this, right? But there's a limitation of flu medicine that you can buy, right? And the reason why is because people who were making meth, I guess there's like an ingredient in the syrup because it's not the promethazine cough syrup, right? It's not the stuff you mix with, Sprite and Kool-Aid and make lean. It's not that. But there's an ingredient that's found within that type of medication. And so the guy walks up to me, right? And I'm thinking like, okay, you know what? Like he was just gonna like approve. Because if you look older than 35 when it comes to cigarettes, alcohol, or medication, they just pretty much like they just hit, to bypass. But the dude literally, like, he literally carded me. He like walks up, he shows on his phone, he's like, I need to see your ID to make sure you're over 18. And it caught me off guard by like, what? Like, bro, the freaking beard. And I was like, and even my beard has white hairs. Like, I love Google Pixel and all its cameras because it is really hiding and masking it. But if you saw me in person, there's a lot. I mean, you could probably see one, two, or three, four strands. It's actually more gray hair there than what it shows on the live stream. And so I was kind of like, oh, that's a compliment. He carded me. I mean, look at me, okay? You definitely could tell I am not under 18 years old. You definitely could tell. You can see bags under my eyes for like how tired I am and whatnot. And then of course, like I suffered Bell's palsy. I suffered that about 5 years ago, right? So one side of my face where it actually affected, which I believe it's this side. I could tell by looking at the shape of my cheeks. One of them does look slightly puffier than the other one, and that's because half of my face was paralyzed for several days, and I kid you not, without being able to move that side of my face, I definitely can see how it basically impacted the way that my who the hell is calling me? I have no idea who that is. Anyways, sorry, I was getting a phone call on the other phone. That's why I like the Bluetooth earbuds. I can walk away. But anyways, yeah. So like half my face was paralyzed, and like the cheek muscles is like more built on one side than on the other side. I've had a lot of weird things happen in my lifetime. So turning 43 yesterday. That was pretty cool. Like my younger brother asked me if I was going to be doing anything. I didn't know that they were going to have a cake and candles and stuff. So I was just like, no, we're not doing anything. And he's like, I was like, oh man, like that kind of sucks. I'm like, well, my birthday's another day. 43 years I've been alive on this planet. I've had 42 birthdays. Just having just getting happy birthdays from my kids, getting hugs, getting kisses, them hanging out with me, watching movies, with me. That's more than enough. That's like the best present in the world. And then so they got me, the shirt, they got me a card, they got me my favorite snack, which was, the hot Cheeto puffs, like the hot Cheeto puff corns is like my favorite snack. And then they got me my favorite drink, which is Arizona green tea. Um, and then they had this shirt buried underneath all that in the gift bag, and so I'm like very happy, very humbled. Um, they know they didn't have to do that, but they decided to. So hey, and yeah. So now that that's over with, today is like the day after my birthday. So I'm still thanking everybody that reached out to me on social media and wished me a happy birthday. That's pretty cool, right? So, but then there's also tomorrow, which is Pixel Day, made by Google event. We're going in on that. Like I am hoping that my internet service that's crappy can handle tomorrow. What and here's how I'm gonna do it. So I'm actually running the live stream from my PC, right? So I'll have StreamYard pretty much pulled up on here. And then what's also going to happen is that I'm actually going to run the event off my Pixelbook right here, and I'm gonna send a link in Google Chat to myself so I can open a guest window on my Pixelbook so I can full screen it and watch the event and interact with you guys on the live stream. So that's how it's going to happen tomorrow. That's what we're doing tomorrow. I believe it's 10 a.m. my time. I'm gonna double check. So if you are not watching the community section on my YouTube channel, start following it because I am posting on there at the same as I would post on X and on Threads. I'm just kind of migrating a lot of those posts onto YouTube. So it's not only videos, live streams that you're getting, you're also getting social media posts from me, whether I share a picture, whether I share a thought, whatever it may be. I'm going to be sharing it in the community. And so in the community tonight, after I verify when it's going to start, I will let you guys know exactly what time I'm going to be going live. But I'm also going to set up the live stream and have that ready and set up for us so that way we all can hang out and watch the event together, you know? I think that's gonna be pretty cool. I'm really excited for it. What couple things that I am excited for obviously is finding out if a lot of those rumors are true. Not just the eSIM only part. Um I hope not. I hope they're giving people time to at least kind of transition everyone into it. So like maybe Pixel 10, maybe the biggest change up on it is who's manufacturing their processor chip. Um and then maybe the Pixel 11 can go all eSIM. Okay. I need my glasses for this because I really can't see all that well. So, oh, okay. I do need a haircut. I mean, just look how freaking fast my hair is growing back after cutting it short. Now it's growing back. So, I definitely need to get a haircut one day. I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna style my hair. It's so weird because like, before I cut it to short, I was growing out, so it grew long, right? Kind of grew down to about here. If I last remember. Yeah, about here is how long I had it, and then I would put it up in a bun. And I just felt weird because you got all these young guys, they're like in their 20s and they're rocking the bun and it works for them. And I'm like a little self-conscious because I'm like, I'm 43 years old, kind of feel like, the old guy trying to be young, going through a midlife crisis type of thing. So I was like, fuck it. Plus, I was getting tired of it getting knotted and having to comb it and everything like that. I was starting to feel weird, so I just chopped it chopped it off. I think like the most I'll ever grow my hair out if I wanted to grow my hair out is probably like halfway down my face. And just keep trimming it from there to keep it short. No undercut, none of that stuff. Because I feel funny about things now. I feel in such a weird way. So I think eventually I'm going to open up where I can multi-stream to different platforms. I'm not sure how much that costs on Prism, but I like this. I like this live streaming app. Prism is what I'm using to live stream, and I want to do that down the road in the future. So hopefully there's not any like lag or anything like that as far as me speaking and the audio that you're hearing. That's one thing I do get very annoyed with it's like my lips will be moving and you can tell what I'm saying by reading my lips, but then the audio is like a 2 second delay from when I'm talking. So you're like hearing the words that I'm saying, 2 seconds after you see my lips speaking them. I really, really hate that. I really do. Um, for those of us joining in and watching the live stream, let me know if you guys like this format of live streaming. Usually I podcast from my PC. Usually I have, the 16 by 9 aspect ratio for the display of the live stream. If you guys like this more mobile style, type live streaming and stuff like that, yeah. And if you're wondering why there's a heart over my head, why all these likes and hearts are popping up, it's a reminder to remind you guys to hit the like button because it does help out does help out my channel. I'm also playing around with filters too, so I'm trying to see what this is. I've been playing around with filters for a little while and okay, so it just makes like a little idea sign or something. I don't know. Um, looks like we got some headphones and what the hell? Oh my God. is so weird. Bro, we twins now. Oh man, this is kind of funny. Ooh, I'm gonna show this to my daughter later. Oh, I'm a T-Rex. Oh my God, this is so funny. They could have done without this. They could have just made my whole head the TX. It looks like I'm wearing like, a helmet, for a motorcycle, and I don't even own a motorcycle. I don't ride a bike. I will one day. That's one of my plans, my dreams in life is to buy a motorcycle and ride. I just think, if it's just me roaming around the city, you know, what the? Oh my God. Okay, so this looks like me when I was 4 years old and took all the happy face stickers and just splat them all over my face and then went outside to my dad and my dad got pissed off. So, let's see, what else is there? Oh, I could be a banana. What the? Oh, okay, yeah, I don't want a banana on my forehead. That's just weird. Let's see, let's do this one. Well, for sure not doing that. That's my wife that does that. And holy crap, that was to the moon. We on our way. Wait, I don't know. I guess I'll go back to that other one. I like that other one. Let's see. Let's where was it at? Oh wait. I got one of these. Now see if this was only real in real life, right? Thursday with these little things. I've never in my life had one of these. It makes me wonder so much as to why there's so many things that, I want to do in life. Um, I want to catch up with, like, getting one of those hats would actually be pretty decent, pretty cool. Anyways, aside from that, Pixel 10. Um, Apparently there's going to be three camera setup on this one, and we're talking about the 10 model. That's literally what we're talking about, not the Pro models, but the actual Pixel 10 base flagship model will actually have three cameras. So it's about time that they did something like that. It's about time. Honestly, I feel like it's okay for the A series device to have like the main wide angle sensor and then an ultra wide sensor, and then the base 10s have, a wide angle main, an ultra wide, and a telephoto. They can always use different sensors, right? Like they can use, 16 megapixel ultra wide, 48 megapixel main wide angle, and maybe like a 48 megapixel telephoto on the Pixel 10. And if you go into the pro models of it, they can use like a 50 megapixel main shooter, 64 megapixel telephoto, and a 50 megapixel ultra wide, right? 50, 64, 50 is like what I'm thinking about when it comes to three sensors. And they could have done that with the Pro and Pro XL. And I hope this year with the Pixel 10 Pro Fold that they beef up the cameras on that too as well. Even if they went, very similar with the Pixel 10 base model camera sensors, I think that would be pretty good. What up, Coffee? Welcome in. Um, so yeah, that's the idea. That I'm hoping about the Pixel 10. But you're not going to see too much difference between the 10 and the Pixel 9, right? Just the additional camera sensor. So now there's three sensors on the back, one in the front. That's to be expected. The switch up from the Samsung Foundry to the what do you call it? TSMC, who manufactures Intel processors, by the way, if you didn't know. What else besides the Tensor G5 do they do? And it's actually the Intel processor in Windows PCs that they actually do. And oh, that's weird. Did the audio cut out? Can I get a sound check just to make sure? Excited for the base 10s to get three sensors. Yeah, but not quite sure how to think about the rumored downgraded sensors. So, if you've had the pleasure of using the Pixel 9a, well, what I'm hearing is that the Pixel 10 is going to have the same sensor as the Pixel 9a, the 48 megapixel. Now, when it comes to photography, it's not really so much of like the pixel count. I think that's like one of the biggest things that people get a misconception when it comes to smartphone photography. Like the only benefit really of having a major sensor is obviously it can take in more light. So, if of course, night sight is probably going to be the one thing that may seem a bit off with the Pixel 10 being smaller sensors, right? Because they went from a 50 megapixel shooter down to a 48 megapixel shooter, and they went into a smaller sensor. But you also have to remember that when you look at previous devices like the Pixel 5a, if you look at the Pixel 6a, um, with those devices, Google's computational photography was well executed. I mean, post processing, which is today, if you want to be honest about smartphone photography, a lot of the photos you see that people say, I snapped this with my S25 Ultra, my, iPhone 16 Pro Max, or whatever it may be, there's a lot of post processing from those photos. You're not getting what actually came from those sensors. Bleep, it takes the photo, and then all this post processing happens in like milliseconds, right? Um, this is why, like, if you snap a photo with the Google Pixel, you ever notice that when you go into Google Photos to look at the photo, and it tells you processing, you see that wheel progression complete as you're trying to launch the photo, and that's just because it's processing the image. So yeah, if we were to take a lot of photos with our Google Pixels, with our iPhones, with our Samsung Galaxies, if we were to take them raw, if we were to take them with no post-processing or any of that stuff, you'll be really shocked on how the photos are going to come out. I mean, the only good thing about taking raw photos is that you can upload them to cloud, right? You can back them up to Google Photos. You can download them on your PC. You can run any photo editor that you like to use, and you could do color grading. You can do, yeah, corrections to, blemishes and artifacts that you find in the photos. You can always clean that stuff up with a nice photo editor and then upload it to your Instagram to showcase your photography. Like photography today is not like how it was 10, 15, 20 years ago. 20 years ago, you really had to be patient. You really had to get that photo that you wanted to like blast and put on a canvas so people could see your photo like huge, right? Today it's not even that. Today it's really snapping the photo and then doing a lot of color grading and corrections, artifact, deletions, just a lot of processing that has to be done. But if you don't have the time or the patience to do that, then like Google did, they have post processing that's automatically done with AI, and you can still, even in that sense, you can still fudge around with it. You can literally like do like a portrait lighting and make it seem like the light here had moved here, right? And get a photo like that. So that's pretty much it. Hi, babe. My wife is in here. I love. I hope your day at work is going well. Oh, did I miss something? Nice. Awesome. That is awesome, babe. Good news. Good news. Good news. And tell Hurricane Aaron I said thank you. Maybe not, because I don't think she wants to be called Hurricane. Don't show this to anybody. Woo! Anyways, yeah. So what up, Sneed? Glad to have you here. So yeah, but yeah, with photography, that's just even if it's a downgraded camera sensor from the Pixel 9, it's not it's not stepping back all the way back to like the what's it called, the LG Evo slide. It's not like that. It's not, you're not going down to a 3.2 megapixel shooter or a VGA camera. It's not going down to that. Google's computational photography is still going to bring you like the best photo it's going to be able to bring you. And then, coupled with that, a lot of things is AI dependent nowadays. So I would say like a good 40% of what we see on social media, honestly, it's all bullshit. It's all AI generated, right? I mean, I see so many women post stuff on social media. Like I go on Threads just to see what's happening on there. Threads is pretty much like X, but just like Meta's own version of it. And like All Threads ever has is just like, no disrespect, but it just has women that's posting pictures with them playing around with AI, which is cool to see because, if they want to see what they look like if they were Asian or if they were Native American or, if they were from the 1950s, the 1930s, they're playing around with AI and it's so cool to see. But that's really all that really happens there. Like 40% of photos I see is AI generated. The rest of it is like, smartphone photography. I decided against upgrading last year. Yeah, and you know what? One of Google's biggest mistake. I mean, well, I want to say it's their biggest mistake because it makes a lot of sense why they did it. Yeah, I never got a chance to be a part of the official Team Pixel. Never got the opportunity, and I bet it was pretty cool, but I would never know. The fact that they took it away, I think it, kind of hurts. But then again, it's like when you have something good, then other people tend to just kind of mess it up. I believe one of the reasons why they did decide to do away with Team Pixel and decided to focus with, um, lifestyle influencers and like the top tech reviewers, or like not the top tech, but the top big tech reviewer channels. The reason why they decided to focus on them more, and they stopped going to smaller YouTubers and they stopped, finding new people to bring into Team Pixel as they exited out other people that didn't fit in. I think, it's because a lot of people were using that one comment you would find in every review video when a new Pixel came out, and that was, like, oh yeah, a lot of people are gonna say good things because it's always good when you get something for free. Everyone was always hitting that one thing. It was like, oh, you were getting it for free, so of course it's gonna be great. Of course it's gonna be good. And it was like, man, did that hurt anyone else's chances to get to be called up to Team Pixel? Not saying that I would have ever been called up, but I would have loved to seen some of the new YouTubers that I've been following lately to see them be invited into Team Pixel and to see what they come up with on a video to help push, Pixels out there for more people to learn what they are so Pixels can get more market share out there. It would have been so cool to see that. Um, and if I would have been chosen for it, that would have been even cooler. But even without this program around, I am still Team Pixel. Am I going to get the order the Pixel 10? That depends on how well they sell me tomorrow on this event when I go live and watch it. That depends how much they can sell me on it. If they can literally make me order the phone tomorrow. Because my first plan after talking with BTech and talking to my wife about it, right? So my wife is the person that like I go to for a lot of my decisions. And then I went to BTech afterwards to see what he thought. And both of them agreed on the same thing, which is that there's going to be some deals for the Pixel 10, so I shouldn't jump the gun and pull the trigger on pre-ordering it tomorrow because if I pre-order it and pay full price for it, then say, a month from now, like next month, September, they have like a crazy insane deal on the Pixel 10, I am going to feel like crap. So, yeah, it's just like, you see, you really want to move from your 7 Pro to the new Pixels? I mean, the Pixel 10, man. That's a pretty cool jump from the Pixel 7 Pro. Yeah, I don't think you got the 8 Pro, so I didn't see you with the 8 Pro. I think you went in on Samsung and on Apple on that one. So yeah, if you're wanting to upgrade to a new Pixel, then tomorrow's event, hopefully that tells the tale of what to expect from the Pixel 10, and maybe it checks all the boxes if it feels right for you to upgrade to it. The one thing I don't like about Google is their trade-in specials or the trade-in deals. Their trade-in deals, Samsung's got that on lock. Samsung's got some crazy good deal when you trade in a device. Apple, I don't know if Apple has trade-in deal. I think they do, but Google doesn't have any good ones. Like when it comes to trading in, you'll get top dollar, like top trade-in value if it's an iPhone. If it's their own Pixels, they don't even get top dollar for them. So that's what sucks. All right, Oscar, thanks for hanging out. And yeah, I appreciate you for coming in. Yeah, so I'm like, I am ready for this. I mean, I looked over what this website has when it comes to the Pixel 10. A couple of things. I mean, there's some things I still feel like is kind of a little bit out of place. So that would be, you know, I love my wife so much. Now, my wife and I, we talk throughout the day. Like, if you guys are in the chat, hit the like button for my wife. She is like my number one fan, my biggest supporter, the person that just keeps pushing me, even when sometimes where like I feel like everything is just falling apart for me. My wife is always there, just pushing and cheering me on. And drop a comment and hit a like to give a shout out to my wife and my kids. They are always just they, it doesn't matter what video I put out, they always watch it to show support. They're always in there hitting the like button and everything like that. And then they always come back and like they make fun of me because like, if I had like a weird facial gesture or something that made them laugh, they will point out exactly what time in the live or what time in the video I made it, and then they make fun of me. But we're a family where, we could joke around, we can goof around and stuff like that. We don't, I mean, not everything has to be a battle, and we're not always walking around with our assholes so tight. So yeah. Well, let's see. What are they guessing on the specifications? So before I wrap this up, basically what they're talking about here is that they're saying that's gonna have Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on the front and back, aluminum frame for the sides. Um So it says IP68 slash IP69 dust and water resistance, immersible up to 1.5 meters for 30 minutes. So I don't know. Maybe the Pixel 10 is IP68. Maybe the 10 Pro and 10 Pro XLs are IP69. That doesn't sound right. If you're laughing, don't laugh. Okay. It came on my head right now. That didn't even sound right either. So the thought popped in my head. Oh fuck it, I don't care anymore. LTP OLED, 120 hertz refresh, HDR10 plus, 2000 nits of 2000 nits brightness, 3000 nits peak brightness, 6.3-inch display. Of course, Android 16 with up to 7 years of or 7 major software updates. So we have that. Tensor G5, they finally fixed it. It's a 4 nanometer built processor. Goes kind of into like the different cores that it has. For the GPU is a Mali G715 MC7, 128 by 12 gigs. So 128 gigabytes of storage, 12 gigs of RAM version. There's a 256 by 12, and that's it for the Pixel 10, I guess. What? Eventually, they're going to have to make 256 the base. Okay, apps are getting bigger. Um, you know, like data that's cached from the apps is getting bigger. Just man, could think about it right now. Could you look at Facebook and how much data that app has, and then look for a screenshot of the Facebook data on the Android device back in 2010? You'll be surprised how big apps have grown since. But anyways, yeah, camera wise, I think this is what people are like, kind of like worried about. 48 megapixel main shooter. It's a 25 millimeter lens with the f 1.7 aperture rating. And then you got a 10.8 megapixel. What the heck is that one for? Is that the ultra wide or is that the telephoto? Nope, that's telephoto. 10.8 megapixel telephoto lens. All right, it's a 112 millimeter telephoto sensor. Then you got the 12 megapixel ultra wide as well. Yeah, so pretty interesting. And then the selfie cam, where are you at? Where's the selfie cam? Did they not post the selfie cam? Did they forget? All right, we got the 48 megapixel, we got the 10.8, we got where are you? Where'd you go? Where did you go? Ah, they forgot to load up the selfie cam. Oh no, it's right there. No, I'm just blind. Never mind. They didn't forget. I'm blind. I really am going blind. Anyways, 10.5 10.5 megapixel um ultra wide selfie cam. So it's 20 millimeter lens in itself. So well, okay. It is what it is. It is what it is, everybody. But you know what? Like Tomorrow is Pixel Day. I may shout Happy New Year. I'm not stupid. I know it ain't New Year's, but it's New Year's to me with the brand new Pixel coming out. Am I going to order it? We'll just have to wait and see. I'm the type of person where I would rather want to have a good deal. I would rather have a good deal on a phone. So like everyone else pays 799, I would love to be the guy that says, "Hey, I only paid 500 for it," and have the phone then to be one of the first people to get it. I know in the game of YouTube, people have this idea it's always first to the finish, but it's not always first to the finish. It's always who's more informative. And lately, I've been undercutting myself by trying to simplify my videos. And now people want longer videos, 8 to 15 minute videos. And so that gives me a lot of time to talk about a phone and its specifications. So that I have to retrain myself to get into the habit of doing. Um, I got the Pixel 7a last year, and it's been a joy to use, other than the battery life being abysmal. If the Pixel 10 proves to be a great device, I might consider it next year. Yeah, I definitely do want to get the phone for you guys to be able to use it and to provide review videos on it. I know some people were just like, "Yo, you got the Pixel 9a, you only did a couple of videos on it." And the only reason I did that was because the first couple of videos I released barely got any views, so I figured, people just weren't interested in hearing what I had to say about it. But that has since changed in the last couple of months. So there's going to be more Pixel 9a videos coming out here soon. And I may actually attempt to install a custom ROM on my Pixel 9a. I know Evolution X has a Android 16 built ROM for the 9a, so I may test it out to see how it works out. The last time I installed Evolution X based on Android 16, so it was Evolution X 11. It didn't have the Material 3 expressives in the user interface, so it pretty much looked like Android 15. Um, yeah, but a lot of people that got Android 16 have the UI looking like Android 15. I don't know if they're still in beta though. I mean, I did get a beta software update a couple days ago, so it has to be in beta. But then again, most of I just realized this, didn't even think about it, but like I've always been enrolling in the beta program with one of my Pixel devices. And so it ends up staying in beta and moving away from like the actual beta of testing of the new software to the QPRs. And so I was always wondering, why am I getting like QPR beta this or QPR, 3 beta 1? I'm always getting those. And I'm like, why? And I found out why, because it's still beta. So yeah. Anyways, I think I've held you guys up long enough. Please do let me know if you guys like this version of me going live. If you guys want more of this type of live streaming, let me know. I would be more than happy to do it this way instead of doing the whole microphone PC type thing. I can always switch it up. All I really want to do is just make content that you guys enjoy to listen to and watch. I'm not rich, so I can't just get every device that's out there and unbox it for you guys. I'm not that type of person, but I do like to pass on information as well as experience. That is the true essence of my channel, is sharing my experience. And hopefully my experience is not a regurgitation of everybody else's experience. Sometimes I can't help the fact that it is, because, above all that, the biggest thing for me is just being transparent and honest with you guys. That's the most important thing. And oh wow, you guys can see that my thumb looks like this because I had those cheddar those Cheetos hot puff corns. God, such a silly name for it, but get rid of the flying emojis. Yeah, I'm just having fun with it. But yeah, for future ones, of course, they're not always going to be here. Bobby Warren, what's up, man? Glad to have you here. Watch alongs are fun. Yep, yep, yep. Definitely tomorrow there is going to be a live watch along for the Google Pixel 10 event. That's going to be the idea. And these little emoji things, Really, I just did it in this live stream to remind people to hit the like button. The like button is what helps out a lot of content creators. You guys really don't know how much that does help out. This whole idea of algorithms in here, for whatever to have their, their there we go, turned off. There, I turned it off. So you can have your sanity back because I'm pretty sure like all that stuff was just annoying you for a second, and I don't want to like actually annoy people, but like buttons really does help out. I mean, the algorithm thing that people believe YouTube is doing, that's not how it works. It's not. It's actually you guys that control. So I do know that some videos I make suck. I do know that. I'm gonna take ownership of it. There is no algorithm that's just sneakily like I choose this video, I choose that video. It's not doing that. It's only pushing videos that you guys like. If you guys like my videos, then the algorithm will push it. And if more people that it shows it to likes my video, it'll continue to push it. If eventually it pushes my videos to a group of people who don't give a shit about it, that's where it's gonna like cold die out and just slow crawl unless someone's Google searching something that I've made mention in my video. Then they'll find my video, which is a recommended video for them to watch to get that information. And then, yeah. So the truth of YouTube before I end this live stream is that you guys hold the power. You guys hold all the cards. You guys will always have that power to choose which of your creators that you guys like succeed in this game of YouTube. So we're all basically at the mercy of you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me with this, quick live stream chat and listening to what I say about the Pixel 10 as well as other side jargon that I spewed out there. But tomorrow, there'll be the watch along. I'm gonna set it up here in a little bit, and then yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. So you guys enjoy the rest of your night. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys very much, and be safe out there for sure.